Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to a brand new episode of your favorite talk show, Bahrain Now, with me, Bara Abdallah, as we bring you the kingdom's latest topics and initiatives, as well as a showcase of local talents and more, all happening right here on Bahrain Now. So, right after this break, we'll be back. Ladies and gentlemen, there is no stronger bond than the bond of two sisters, especially the ones who come together to make a change. Basma and Narjas Kazaroni are here to introduce to us a new application called Nafs. So, welcome to Bahrain Now.
Thank you
and
for
welcome
having us.
again.
Thank you, Bara. Thank you.
Definitely. I mean, so happy for this, the application. I mean, I downloaded it today. It looks so beautiful. The UI is amazing. But tell us more about the application.
Well, the app Nafs is a hub that really includes everything that you need and require for mental health, for your mental health journey, whether it's booking appointments, reading articles, and so on. Like, it's just one place where you can just find everything that you need. And I had this idea when I was like working maybe like in between my second and third year of uni. I worked during the day with my sister in the special needs field, and at night I worked at a clinical psychology practice. And working in both very different fields in psychology, that I saw the exact same demand, that people just don't know what to do or what and where to look for when for their journey in mental health. So I wanted to create something that you can find everything that you need for.
Okay, wow, first of all, I love it. And so what inspired you?
Well, as she said, that she was working like a internship stuff with me, and she heard my complaints a lot because, for example, let's say, you know, moms in Bahrain, the group thing, or whether it's the other group things that people anonymously asking for advices, and people are not giving the rightful advices because they're not professional, they're not sure, or there's a lot of people they recommend people which they are not holding at the right qualification, or they're not holding for like say an HRA, and these are very important matters because having a license is what makes doing things legal. So so when she heard all of my obsession of getting upset and that this because it affects because people go to the wrong person, you get you won't get the right treatment that that is needed for you. So then what happens is that this where makes us, the psychologists or therapists who've been working so hard for many years, it will make us look bad, and then people will look at us as that they're just they're bad, or because they didn't go to the right person. So we are making sure that this is one of the struggles, that we need some background checks to make sure everyone is know where to find everything, that is all the background is checked, and everything is we make sure that they are doing everything legal. And if there is anything problem, that we make sure that if we found out there is anything that's not been truthful, we can complain to the ministry. We can raise this so people know where, so people can find where to go find the right person.
Wow, there is so much going on. I'm excited. It's like the initiativity itself is just brilliant. It's just that how did you come together to this idea? It's like two sisters sitting down at a table.
I'm pointing here.
She's hearing you and your complaints, and she's like, there you
Light
go.
bulb.
Light bulb. So how did that moment come together?
Well, we both went into very different fields in psychology. I'm more of the clinical side, and she's more of the special needs educational side. So and those two different fields are like the biggest demands there are in psychology when people come for help. So when we talked about it and I had that idea, it was just, why don't we just get together, you handle that part, you know exactly what qualification and what requires to be a special needs therapist, and I know what requires to be for a clinical psychologist or a neuropsychologist.
Perfect.
So we have the right enough knowledge to supply the demand, basically.
Whoa, it's a synergy.
It was a synergy, exactly.
And a harmony at the same time.
Yeah.
So the application, I went with it, right? And the first thing I saw were cute monsters. Different colors.
Yeah.
You know? It's like, do you feel low? And I see two cuddly monsters. I'm like, oh, like, yes, I do feel low. Do you think you or anybody else in your surrounding, your vicinity, has an issue and then see a yellow monster?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I'm like, yeah, okay, yes. So what is the story behind the monsters? And plus, tell us more about the application, what can happen. But monsters first.
Okay, well, the most important part is the monsters. But the monsters came about when it was the idea of it was to kind of do that paradox between like the mental health stigma and something that's just cute and fluffy. So you kind of associate it, start associating mental health with something positive rather than something negative, which is what the stigma is. It's a negative stigma. And each of the monsters embodies a different disorder. So you can have the depression monster, you can have the bipolar monster, you can have the ADHD monster, you know, and the paradox, the oxymoron between the two is that it's a monster, but it's still cute, you know, it's still something, it's a part of who you are, and it's okay to accept it and just do whatever you can to be sane in this world.
I love that. So ADHD monster has we can be friends, I guess.
Yeah.
We can be friends.
It's actually, I think that one is called the Besma monster after my sister.
We will be close friends after this.
Yeah.
So now tell us more about the application. So now I'm going to go there, have the UI. So it's more dedicated to find the right therapist. How does it work?
So the application is pretty much, as my sister has explained, it's everything we're trying to create under one hub. So as for now, it's just able to find the therapist, which you will be very secure knowing that their all background has been checked and everything else. Just to book, right now we're just doing booking, they can book an appointment through the app.
Right.
There's also domestic help hotline. So that was also one of the big issue that we've been talking about, that there's a lot of people are going through that a lot.
Right.
They don't know who to contact, what to do, and all of those information. Another thing is that we also came up with another idea that the logo, when you download the app, the logo will not show.
Yeah, I mean, I noticed that. I'm like, is it a glitch?
Yeah. Yes. Everyone thinks that. I think we need to put a warning when installing the app, but it's mainly for the domestic helpline feature. You know, we know that we understand their situation can be a very controlling situation, and so we want to maintain that anonymity and that security and safety for them, that if they want to seek out help, they can do so in a safely manner. So the logo on the app icon when you're on your homepage, and the name of the, I'm not going to say how it looks like or what it's or anything, because what's the point? But yeah, it's doesn't exist. It looks like a completely different app, so their abuser won't know that they have this sort of app and that they're trying to incriminate them in some way.
At the same time as well, it's just also because for my side, it's because so I've studied Masters in Special Needs Education and Applied Behavior Analysis with FIT. So right now I'm eligible BCABA.
Wow.
I'm supposed to do my board exam this August, but I had to extend it for inshallah, hopefully in October, November. So basically from my side would be because parents are looking for help, okay, for their child, to seek therapist or where to go. So a lot of people, they feel still you know, uncomfortable to ask people or sort of their surroundings. So this also, it's also a security, not security, to keep it safe for themselves and secure, like feel it privacy. So it's also great privacy for parents, people, whoever, you know, it's on their phone, so even when you turn on your phone, nobody can see it. So that's the idea as well, for both ways.
I mean, it's so interesting you actually thought of that. You know, where everybody's looking forward to actually enhance their brand.
Yes.
You thought of the safety of the user. So I appreciate you for that. We
100%.
really do. Really
100%.
do.
We have to. We have to. They're in a difficult situation, and everybody goes through different things in life. So we want to make sure that every different type of person within every different type of situation is accommodated for. Because this is a very sensitive topic. So we want to make sure it's a positive and reassuring experience from start to finish.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. I'm loving everything I'm hearing right now. And I think Bahrain is so lucky to have this, you know,
Yeah.
where you put everything together in one application. There was a time where it was so hard for people to even ask for help,
Yes.
right? And then when they go out there, it's like, oh, me going to a psychiatrist or a psychologist, socially speaking, was difficult. But now reaching to a point, there's an application. You can go and book an appointment. How is that with all this going on? Like, do you think there's a good reception to it so far, or does it need some time, or are we at the right time for this?
I think we're in exactly the right time. We have the pandemic going on, so people are a lot more isolated. So mental health concerns have increased substantially. People are on their phones a lot more these days, and this is just the right time for it. Like, this is, the demand is so great and has been needed and wanted for so long. It is time to start the mental health revolution.
And it's just like one click of button away from your phone.
That's
Exactly.
it. Besma ADHD. Book appointment. Well, like I never knew before, right? But now, like, I know I can do that, you know, and that's it. I can
Yeah.
do it, you know, anonymously.
Yeah.
Let's go. You're gonna get a lot of phone calls from me.
By all means.
I'll be a very loyal customer. So, NAFS is happening. That's it. It's out there. We can download it today. Any last words to your viewers about this beautiful initiative?
There's nothing to be ashamed of when it comes to your own mental health. You are the most important person in your life. I'm going to talk to the camera now. I'm going to talk to the people.
Please, go
You
ahead.
are the most important person in your life. You have to take care of yourself before assisting others. And there's nothing to be ashamed. It's such a normal reaction. We are humans, and it is so common. Around 50% of half of the world goes through a mental health obstacle in their life. So be open to help, do what works for you, and take care of your nafs.
Take care of your nafs. Love that. Love that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for making
having
this
us.
happen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. And, you know, I think you're going to save lives here.
Thank you. Well,
Inshallah.
hopefully.
Hopefully.
We can only try.
Bless you.
Thank
Really,
you.
bless you. And much appreciated.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, take care of your nafs. All that with the Nafs application. Do check it out on either iPhone or Android and download it. You could actually save a life or even yourself. All that happening with Bahrain Now. Stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, everything around us is art. And tonight, literally, we're surrounded by the art of Saria Sayar. Well, welcome and good evening.
Hello, thank you.
Well, it is a big honor and pleasure. And I think so far, this is the biggest painting ever to arrive on our set. Definitely. So tell us
Hopefully big in depth too.
I can see there's a lot of depth here going on. I mean, like, I can only wait for the story. But first, let's hear the journey.
Okay. It depends how far back we're going.
Okay.
My first memory of art is actually with my sister, where we're playing pretend, and she's the teacher and I'm the student.
Okay.
And I can remember the first drawing she taught me how to paint was a clown
All right.
with massive kisha hair. I think I was like in second grade. Fast forward to high school, and I filled my schedule with art subjects throughout school. Like any art subject I could do, I wanted to do it. It was
Wow.
fun. Pottery, interior art, drawing.
Okay.
And then one day I was upset and I drew this lion and this puppy. And I looked at it and I'm like, whoa, I can actually do this. Like, this is good.
You surprised yourself.
Yeah, I was like, I can actually draw.
Me?
So the next day I booked a class at Artology and I was like, okay, I'm gonna take this seriously. And I didn't know where it would take me. Then I did Art IB, loved that, one of my favorites. Moved on, graduated, went to St. Martin's, did my foundation there. Oh, that was intense. That was like fast paced, a world I've never seen. You know, like when you watch TV and there's like an art teacher that has a tantrum and walks out of class because like we're not doing good enough, and that was the first day. It was like, I'm like, whoa, this is art school.
I can imagine only what's going on.
Yeah, it was crazy. Finished my foundation, went to do University of Arts London, Chelsea College of Arts.
You've been busy.
Yeah, I did my bachelor's there, and the networking there is amazing. You meet so many different people doing different kind of arts. I did a couple of group shows around London, like offsite shows, and it was crazy. It was so much fun.
You had an interesting life going on.
Yeah, it was fun. I graduated last year. So I'm sort of just stepping into like the art world after graduation and here in Bahrain.
Okay.
So it's exciting. It's also fast-paced here. I didn't think it would be.
Interesting.
When I was in London, but the art world's really booming in Bahrain right now.
In what sense?
People are interested. People want to see it.
Okay.
They enjoy it. I don't know if fully they understand its depth yet, but you know, it's its step. And there's so many events going on, and yeah, there's a lot going on in Bahrain.
It's beautiful to hear that, actually, because you know sometimes they will ask us like, "What's going on?" But to know there is a niche for everything, I mean, that's very healthy to hear.
I can't keep up. I mean, I want to
It's
have
that
enough
fast?
paintings. Yeah. I mean, maybe I'm slow. Maybe my art, I take time, but I want to say yes to everything. I'm like, I'm not ready. I can't say yes. I can't say yes. And I want to.
That's what I love right now, because you're updating me and everybody else with what's going on.
Yeah.
So we appreciate you for that, definitely. So now, as you cannot keep up, I would say, with the fast pace of the art world here in Bahrain, but what you got right here is an amazing piece.
Thank
so
you.
apparently you don't only paint, you are giving us a story.
Yeah.
So can you take us through the story?
Yes, of
your
course.
paintings?
So we start with the biggest piece.
Yes.
Okay, and so that piece. So I'm going to tell you about my what inspires me first.
Please do.
Okay, so what inspires me is the conversation you have with yourself at night,
Okay.
and the contradictions you go through just trying to figure things out.
Right.
That for me is the start of almost every series. When that conversation is resolved, then I can move on and the series is complete.
Interesting.
So if for a whole year you're just questioning one thing, then for a whole year I'm painting that one thing. So this piece right here has to do with the struggle of how mature I'm supposed to be and how young I can stay for it to be acceptable.
Okay, now I see it.
So the fish, for example, around are the reasons I can stay this young. Those fish represent my parents, creating two bubbles. Now the bubble, they surround me because my parents are always around me trying to protect me.
Okay.
The bubbles don't cover everything. They cover parts because no matter how much my parents want to protect me, you know, they can't. There's an outside world there. But it's because of those bubbles that I have, you know, the opportunity to stay so young.
Right. Right.
It's a privilege that they protected me for me to stay this childlike self.
Okay. Okay. Now I see it.
Yeah, and it's about keeping the magic alive. And I think for me and my personality in my life, that's important. And it's the magic you see in a child's life. You know, you take someone to like a shack or a barn, and maybe someone like my parents would be like what is this? Where'd you take us? But then a kid would see all this opportunity and all this adventure and just the magic and the charm in it. So that's mostly what the first piece is about.
Okay.
Just like a summary of it.
Well, actually, it's a good summary. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So the story starts there.
The
and
story
then
starts there.
With the second art, there's a continuation to the story?
Yeah, so the
go
second
there.
art, I've recently been tutoring some kids.
Okay.
And I had this one little boy. Hi, Nasser.
Hi, Nasser.
Hi,
Yeah,
Nasser.
We're talking about you right now.
And his art was amazing. But it was his personality really that inspired me most because he's the opposite of me.
the opposite of you.
Yeah, and that's his perspective I didn't really see. He's a kid with so much magic and so much just pureness, and is rushing to grow up. I'm trying to stay. I'm trying to stay a little girl, and he's rushing to grow up. And it was just so cool to witness what that's like, and the beauty in that as well. Yeah. And so this next piece, actually the little mouse in the bottom of that library.
What's that about?
That's one in his sketchbook. That I sort of, I looked at him and he was so reluctant to do this activity, and I pushed for it, and I was like, this is amazing. Like I can just look at him paint all day. And I just took that and I made it my own persona of what growing up sort of feels like the tea, the books, the coffee.
Right.
And it's all about the resources, or what you're exposed to. So the reason it's a library is because I think I was put in a bubble and I wasn't exposed to so much. And it's all about what the kid is exposed to, what he can pull out. And today's age, I think kids are exposed to so much with everything they have. Yeah. And it's about what you pick out from the library can depend on how much of that bubble you're going to burst and how much of that magic you're going to keep.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that's why the book in his hand is actually clear, made of resin, because that's what it is. You know, that's where you're either gonna have the magic, or you're gonna pour some like cynical vibes onto it.
Actually, that is a very wise, yet I would say nobody would say that unless you took a very deep dive into the matter to actually put those into words, let alone a painting.
Yeah, so I would love to, like express exactly what all these paintings really mean, but I'll be here for hours and hours and hours.
I can see that.
So I try to summarize as much as I can, and I feel like maybe the paintings can speak for themselves in the same time, and received in a way you want it to, because it's very personal to the viewer. And they're all personal to me. I have such a hard time letting my paintings go.
I can imagine right now, like even like choosing what painting to go first, even on set. That was like okay, let me just go, let me just unwind, breathe, and just decide.
This is a series of 15 paintings.
15 paintings.
So to choose to summarize the series into these 3 was a whole process in itself.
Oh my God. So let me ask you this. Do you think those paintings can actually turn into a movie?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, for sure. Or I always imagined them a book, but books can turn into movies. But I've always imagined my paintings like flipping a page, and like chapters connect to each other, and characters develop. And sometimes you're so far into the chapter, or you're so far into the book, that the first chapter you're like, it's the same book. So that's how I feel with my paintings. Like I get so far into this one topic or this one thing that I'm contradicting within myself, figuring out, and then I see the first painting, I was like, whoa, that was like so shallow. Like that was the first step. How did I get here?
Wow.
Yeah, so they're all linked.
It's amazing. So now, life is very interesting with you. Very colorful, if I may say. The words would serve me right now. And you're full of expression and full of emotions. And I can tell your emotional intelligence right now is like above 9,000. Because you have to, right, to paint something so expressive.
Thank you.
So what we're having today and what you had before, where do you see yourself? Can you actually even predict what kind of future you're going to have with your plans?
Yeah, but can I finish the story first?
Yes, you can. Okay. Because, they were so rich. And I'm like, wow, there's more to go.
There's
Happy
more.
me. Let's go.
Yeah. So this is the last piece out of this 3-set series.
Okay.
This is the outside world. So you have the first painting, me trying to stay young, a little boy trying to grow up fast. And then this is the outside reactions. And people sort of tend to feel like they can give those reactions, or they do in general. And that may affect you and yourself. And the reason there are some train tracks around is because there's so much around you that you can just like take that track to find your own passion instead of reacting to others. And it's done with chalk paint because you can draw your own passion. You can create your own story, something else to focus on rather than focusing on, you know, the little boy, or rather than focusing on me and my quirkiness or my weirdness. So yeah, it's done with chalk paint, and eventually when my paintings are done, I'll have like chalk for people to come and draw their own, you know, little stories around these people. And yeah, for now, this is where the story ends.
This is beautiful. And I can only imagine the amount of time that you put your soul and effort and everything into this. And it's, I think another interesting part is that, do people come in when they see your paintings, do they give their own translation of it? Or their own interpretation of
Everyone's like the best art philosophy when they, philosopher when they come and look at my art, and they know everything. And sometimes I get really good, like, good feedback that I really take into consideration, you know, like what they say really resonates. I'm like, whoa, I feel like you know me more than I know myself.
There you go.
And then sometimes I'm like, okay, no, but sometimes words stick, especially with my parents. My father can come in and be like, I think it should be like this. I'm like, oh God, it's due tomorrow. And everything changes the night before.
That really affects and influences your
my
thoughts,
dad,
huh?
yeah, for sure.
Wow, wow. I can come in and it's like, oh, I think it's a bunch of kids waiting for something, but somebody else is like, dude, no, this is a journey.
Yeah.
And it, wow, there's so much going on with this. I would like just to ask you, like, you know, back to the question.
Yeah.
So what's the future like?
Okay, so my passion is my journey. The fact that I don't know exactly is what excites me, even when it comes to my paintings. I don't know where it's gonna end. That for me is the joy. When I know how the painting is gonna end, even in my head, and it's not there, I'm bored. That's for my paintings. I do plan on having my first solo, inshallah.
Inshallah.
And I'm gonna be an art teacher this coming year.
Let's go.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
And yeah, and I want to open a studio space, something kind of like what I had in university, where you're just surrounded by all these artists, and you just talk about your art, and everybody talk. Just an open space in Bahrain, where established or wanting to like establish their art, people can just come in and paint, and we can talk for hours. Artology has that for me.
Okay.
But I want it in more like a university setting.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
that's fun.
hopefully I think it's gonna happen soon. I mean,
Inshallah.
you dreamed it, it's gonna happen. I mean,
Inshallah.
this happened. So definitely. So there's way too much to talk about, but unfortunately, like, you know, I think we need way more time and more dedication to it as well. Any last words to your viewers?
Fight for your dream.
Fight for your dreams.
Fight for your dream. Don't just follow them, because you will get hurdles. Fight for it, work for it, and believe in yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Let's go. Well, it's been inspirational, beautiful. I would say you took us through a transition. Like when I saw the painting at first, I had a different idea, but then how you explained it to me at the end of the interview right now, I'm seeing it in a different way.
Nice.
So you took us through this beautiful transition. Much appreciated. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for
here on
having
Bahrain
me.
Now.
Thank you.
Definitely a pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, don't only follow your dreams, fight for it, like how Saria just said right now. More coming up right here on Bahrain Now. Ladies and gentlemen, sustainable, organic, and natural products that serves your skin wonders. We're pleased to be joined by Lush Cosmetics Bahrain and be introduced to the new generation of maintaining healthy skin while saving the environment and our planet too, which is all what this company stands for. And ladies and gentlemen, with us here tonight is Samas from Lush Bahrain. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great, great. So Lush, I'm a big fan of that.
Okay.
And the vibes, the products and all of that. But tell us more about that brand. Lush?
So Lush is a cosmetics brand. It's British, but it's all over the world. We are located in Bahrain as well. It has everything. It caters everything from hair care, skin care, body care, and like so much more.
Wow, there's a lot going, like every part you can think
Yes,
of.
everything.
Definitely.
Everything that takes care of your body is there.
And you have the ethical part, like ethical buying and saving the environment. But tell us more about ethical buying. I mean, that really caught our attention.
So ethical buying is basically a very important part in Lush. So we want to make sure that the employees or the workers are getting fair wages. They're working in really good environments. So Lush does that, and as well when they buy their their ingredients from somewhere, we would like to make sure that they are treating their workers in a really good way, a good environment, and for example, child labor. If there's any child labor, we're against it, so we don't work with these type of companies or projects.
Amazing. And along with that, you're saving the planet, you're saving the environment.
Yeah.
So what's happening there?
So Lush is big on environment. Most of our products are recycled. So 94% of the products are recycled, and the rest is basically something that you can recycle. So you can bring it back to our shops and we can recycle them. Other than that as well, we do make sure that, we do have these naked products over here.
Right.
So they are alternatives for the liquid.
Okay.
So you can actually use one of these products instead of using like a shower gel or a shampoo, and in that way you actually help the environment.
I love it. You got ethical buying, environment, saving the planet, and you have a lot of ethics going on there. You know, and all like actually even showcases. It's like policies as Lush goes out there with every brand and every branch you guys have. Now, what's beautiful is that when I enter any store, forget about going there just to see a product or get an experience. It's just that the fact the vibes in every store is just so positive, so energetic, and it's like everybody there is so well educated and well versed. Like going to Seif Mall, right? A guy, Saleh, I would say. Today I met him. Hi, Saleh. So I go over there. He comes in. Hey, hi, how are you? And I'm like, whoa, hi. It's like, have we met before? I'm like, no, but how can I help you? I'm like, well, let's have a conversation for starters.
Yeah.
And then he takes me around, what do you need and all kind of stuff. And everybody's so well educated. Like even go to City Center or back to Seif, the vibes are so good. So how do you maintain that?
So it starts from the very start, from actually when we need to hire people in our stores. So we do something called like a hiring party. Yeah. So it's not just like your normal interview. We get people and we do a bunch of activities with them. We don't really care about like the experience or how many years they've worked. It's about passion. It's about what do they represent. And that's how they get into Lush. And then after that, there's a lot of like development that goes in it, a lot of product knowledge. We always tell the staff that are with us is just be yourself with your customers, because these are the ones that will always come back. So just stay true to you are, just have a conversation with them. You're gonna have fun at work, and then at the same time they're gonna remember you, just like you remembered Saleh from today.
It worked.
Yeah.
It worked. And then like before COVID took place, we would go there and give us a little treatment, like a face makeover, and and it's like, hey, try this, try that, and when we leave, I'm like, I feel different.
Yeah.
I feel like I got a boost of energy. Plus, I feel like refreshed.
Yeah. So it's not just about people buying in the shop. So we do let people come in and just try the products. Like have a little treat, like have a little massage or like a scrub on your face or a mask while you're in the shop, just to get the experience. And if you like it, you get it home with you. And if you don't, that's fine. You can have a little sample to go home, and then you can come back if you like it and just use it again. So yeah.
I have a lot of samples.
No, that's good. Did you like that?
Everything.
Great.
So now, products.
Yes.
What's happening here?
Okay, so we did get some. This is not everything that we have. We have so many products in the shops. I mean, everyone who went there will probably know.
Yeah.
But we got some of the things that we do. We think that represents us. So for example, these nut drops over here, they are made of 2 bottles of plastic, so they are recycled.
Okay.
So in that way, we can show you that we can recycle plastic and use it for something good.
Love that.
These pots over here, so some of them are body scrubs or lotions, face masks. These are all recycled plastic.
Okay.
So again, we recycle everything that we have. These face masks over here, they are part of a scheme that we do.
A scheme.
Yeah.
Okay. What
So
kind of
if you-
scheme we're talking about here?
So if you bring back 5 pots to our brand, like in the store, you actually go with something free, which is these fresh face masks.
Okay.
We actually helped get back 500,000 pots into the stores because of this scheme, and in that way people are recycling, and they are getting introduced to recycling.
I myself today went and gave them 5 pods and I got 1 for free.
Okay.
Which is that.
Yeah.
So it's the blue, I guess. What is it called?
Don't look at me.
Why?
It's the name of the product.
It's called Don't Look at Me.
Yes, it's called. Yes, it's called Don't Look at Me.
It's like for a second, it's like, what happened? Don't look at me. Like, but that's an interview.
It's a very weird name, but yeah, it's called Don't Look at Me. We have really crazy names in the shop, so.
What's up with the name?
I mean, it's just having fun, and people can come up with their names. A lot of the people that come into the shops actually sometimes give out the names, and this is how we get the names. So yeah.
Oh, I love this. I love this. I mean, okay, I have Don't Look at Me.
Don't look at
but
me.
I don't really mean it.
Yeah.
Please look at me.
Yes, please.
And then I got the Ocean Salt.
Okay.
The Mask of, hopefully I can pronounce it right.
Yes.
The Mask of Magmanensi.
Close enough. Magnaminty.
Magmanensi.
Yeah.
Something out of a Marvel movie. It's like, I behold the power of Mask of
Magnaminty.
Magmanensi. I need to practice later.
Magnaminty.
3 syllables.
Yes.
Okay, for another interview, hopefully
Okay.
by next time I'll be pronouncing it
Pronouncing
right.
it better.
So I do use the products, and it shows a difference, definitely. I mean, as
Amazing.
a consumer myself, I love this. I love the names of what's going on here. So what's your message to the world with Lush?
I'd say our message is being in a cosmetic industry. Yes, it can be consuming, but then at the same time you can make a difference. By simple things like making a naked product or making people recycle. Telling people your ethics and values can really make a difference.
Right.
So yeah.
Well, thank you so much. This has been fun. I love everything about it, even the names.
Yeah.
Love that, definitely. And I'm sure me and a lot of people in Bahrain enjoyed and still continues to enjoy our visits to Lush. Well, thank you so much for being with us here on Bahrain Now.
Thank you.
Much appreciated. Sustainability, being organic, saving the planet, and still makes you feel good and refreshed. All that with Lush. More coming up right here on Bahrain Now. Stay tuned. Well, viewers, we have reached the end of our episode, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Don't forget to send us your feedback via email and our social media accounts shown below. Till next time, goodbye and God bless.